Hmm, hmm, hmm. Testing, just a test. Oh, okay, it does look like my microphone might, maybe, possibly be making audio noises. Possibly, maybe. Who knows? I don't. Hello, hello, hello. Just starting a stream here, Might go walk right back there and take care of myself, make myself a little drink. And by drink, I mean not a drink at all and weed. Wait, it looks like, do I have the wrong camera going? No, I got the right camera going, dog. I think. Hey, well, welcome, man. I've missed all of you guys as well. It's been the world's gone a little topsy-turvy since the last time we checked in with one another. But that's okay, we're all making it through. I thought today was the perfect day to come get back on the old live streaming and share some marijuana with you wonderful folks. I am also, where is my live stream link? It does say I'm live right now. Cool. Maybe. Will somebody also in the chat be so cool as to send the link that you're seeing this on? That'd be real nice, just so I can monitor that way. I'm doing it through a different software. Brandon M., welcome, man. I'm so glad you're coming in from San Francisco. Well, welcome from us, your brothers here in Southern California. You wonderful folks in NorCal are you're doing quite a bit better than I think right now in terms of weed stuff. And weed stuff, oh my God, I'm already so high. In terms of pandemic stuff, oh, I am so sorry. Brandon asked, have I ever heard of alien carts? I have. I've not tried them, but I've heard good things. Liram, welcome. What's up, man? Thank you for joining in. Leo Ram asked if I'm stoned, and the answer is quite a bit. Well, Alberto, thanks so much. This platform makes me actually have to click all of the chat messages as they're coming in. 13 says, like your older videos, you're filming in a different part of your house. Mostly true. Well, actually not at all true. Different house right now for the moment. Oh, thank you, Liram. I appreciate that. Hello, beautiful vibe dynamic. Thank you so much. Smart CRD. Welcome. And Leo is your name. Leo, thank you so much. Rick Greenwood, thank you for joining us. Ed Foley, thank you for joining us. It's a lot of new faces, but not all new. So, guys, let me just go ahead and explain why I'm rambling quite as much as I am. I'm about 200 milligrams into this 1,000 milligram Breeze spray, which is a review that I'm doing. I actually just wrapped up doing the review, and now I'm just enjoying some extras here. This is very strong. This is 1,000 milligrams in total. I've already done about 200 milligrams, and I am quite high already. Oh, smart CRD says, am I the only one who can't hear him? Let me know if that's the case. And Derek Lemire, what's up, Derek? How are you? Glad you could join us. We are about to do a couple more sprays here before I move back to the volcano. Ooh. That is, wow. Now, wow. Don't drink. Breeze says that little action right there was 20 milligrams of THC. And spoiler alert, I totally agree with them. This is crazy potent stuff. Breeze. Okay. Ed says he can hear us just fine. Thank you, Ed, for letting us know. And if you guys will all excuse me, I'm going to go back to the weed zone and make a volcano real quick. I guess you can still maybe hear me. Do I have? No. So I've got some, I know you guys always like to see it. Claiborne County 1 ounce jar. But here's the shocking thing. Let's see if you can see it. That is pretty ridiculously high percentage THC for weed at 36.25% THC. That is some strong stuff. Believe me. I know. I've gone through about half of it. So I'm going to mix them up here. I got some fresh ground stuff. Mamma mia. There I go again. Wonderful. Now we just let it do its thing. German engineering at its finest. Stores and Bickel. It's vapor. It's like a very slow motion balloon art. Both delightful, though. Both are very delightful. Shit. Where did I put my mouth nozzle hole? Oh, no. Oh, dear. Oh, boy. So I've misplaced my little nozzle, but don't fret, because I know where replacing this. Okay, it's maybe time to fret because I can't find my replacements. Yes, I can. Look at that. Look at that right above me. Right where you'd hope they'd be. So we'll just take an extra bag, pop the little mouthpiece right off. We'll just borrow that one. Back you go. I did for a while fuck around with the off-brand ones, but I don't anymore because they are terrible. Okay. Derek Lamar says, I'm trying to get back to chat here. He says he loves him some sprays like the Breeze Royal Mint. I couldn't agree more, Derek. I think they're great. This is actually my first spray, but I've had a lot of tinctures. I generally like tinctures quite a bit. But this is an even more novel method, and it's pretty good if you can stand the that just very intense blast of weedy, minty taste. Philip Baca says, "You, sir, are a weapon of mass destruction." Great pun, Philip. Yes, I know this beard is it's a coronavirus breeding ground. I should shave it. Jay Wade says, welcome, Jay Wade, first of all. Oh, he just gives us a nice Twitch style emoji. Why don't I just shut up and do this for a second? Brandon says, taking dabs, smoking on a plug and play, and watching Wheats is a vibe. Well, thanks, man. I'm glad it's a vibe for you. Hopefully a good vibe. I am very rusty at this. When I was filming this review, I'm going to pull this up again, this Breeze Mints. I had to do the introduction like 20 times. And you would think that would mean that the introduction would then be polished and I would have something intelligent to say. That's not the case. It just took me 20 times to do it to make it not totally unintelligible. Brandon says he was in Long Beach not too long ago visiting family. Well, I hope you had a good time here, Brandon. It's been a weird couple of months for Long Beach, like it has everywhere, but Long Beach got hit really, really hard in that sort of first week or so of riots. Riots is the wrong word. Protests post George Floyd. And so we had lockdowns and all that stuff. So hopefully you were here at a more pleasant time, if that's even possible in this world. Weird times we're living in. Mad Crypto. Hey, Mad Crypto. Good to see you again. I'm good, man. How about yourself? And we've got Wiki on this freestyle says, what's happening from San Diego, California? Not too much, man. Everything's good up here in Long Beach, California. And Derek says he needs more neighbors like me. Well, I appreciate that, man. Where you phoning in from, Derek? Are your neighbors dicks because of where you live? Or is it just like you're in an area where weed is not an accepted thing? Or are your specific people, neighbors, assholes? I've been lucky. I've had really good luck with neighbors and apartment mates and all that good stuff. Room college. I've never had an unpleasant experience. So I totally feel you, man. I know people who have had monstrous experiences and how terrible that can be. Anyways, I totally conflated your story with a lot of other things. But Derek is chiming in from Massachusetts, which is legal, right, Derek? I think. So maybe your neighbors are just dicks because they're from Massachusetts. Jacob, welcome, Jacob. How are you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in. And Derek is now referring to his neighbors as a bunch of nosebags. Shame on them. So how have you guys all been? How's life been for everybody all around the country, or all around the world even? I think we have some international folks here. Things have been strange for folks. Things will continue to be strange for a while still yet. And it's hard to even find a way to broach your way into talking about how weird things are right now. Is the textbook definition of surreal we are all living. Anyways, let's maybe pause the pandemic talk and the cultural wars talk, and let's just let's talk about something fun. Boring weed definitely helps, says Derek. Boring weed helps everything for sure. Okay, let's talk about something. 13 says, I was social distancing before it was mandatory. 13, how cool of you, man. You were out there taking one for the team your entire life. You were saying, I know there's a pandemic coming some point down the future. I better go and batten down the hatches right now because this is a totally selfless act, and I'm doing this for everybody else's safety. I'm right there with you though, 13. I was social distancing. I've been social distancing for 30, however old I am, years, something. 2, 3, 1. It's one of those. Maybe 4. I don't know. Mad Crypto says, let's get stoned as fuck. Pull out the bong. Mad Crypto, I would love to pull out the bong. It's actually in that sink back there. I just broke the down stem the other day have to get it replaced. So stuck with the Volcano for now. But don't worry, Mad Crypto, still going to get quite high with you. I am already spectacularly high on Breeze, Royal Mint. Jude says you changed your office location. And a long time no see. Welcome, Jude. Yes. And Jude, I did not so much change my office location as am no longer at my office. This is a different place altogether for the time being. But this will be the new sort of Wheats area for the moment. Maybe we'll add some stuff, but probably not. Lazy. Brandon says, landlord walked in with an ounce and asked who I was watching. I put him in and told him to subscribe. Nice, man. Thanks, Brandon. Tell your landlord I said hi. And I mean that in both ways. So Jacob says right now he is enjoying some Jungalato OG. I've never had that strain. I hope you are enjoying it, my friend. And Jude asks, where have you been? We have missed you. I've just been busy. Believe it or not, the pandemic has not slowed me down. I moved. That's why in a different spot. I actually did not move far. I moved very short distance. But I moved, so was dealing with the move, dealing with, I guess I can go ahead and just, maybe I shouldn't say this. I don't know. Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. I'll just say it. I now, since the pandemic has started, although it has been a terrible time to start doing this because of all kinds of restrictions and this, that, and the other. But I now, I bought a bike that I sell ice cream from in Long Beach, just like it's a bike with a built-in freezer. And that's also what I've been doing, is starting that whole endeavor, which is a lot of work. But so I've just been busy. But recently I've now finished the move, gotten things started. I said, you know what? I really missed the old Wheats HQ, the old Wheats Bros, and so I decided to get the band back together. Filmed my first review in a long time. Again, the aforementioned Breeze. I'll stop pitching them there in a second. I do have a lot of old stuff from way back when. To maybe or maybe not release. I don't know. We'll see. But that's where I've been. The pecan tree. Welcome, the pecan tree. Pecan. How are you? And I'm glad to be back. Thank you for saying so. Mad Crypto says he is eating some Emerald Sky gummies. Very nice. I hope you're enjoying those. I hope they're going to do the trick for you there, Mad Crypto. Mad Crypto says, I'm going to go to Long Beach to get some Wheats ice cream. I wish it were Wheats ice cream or medicated ice cream in any way, shape, or form. It's not. It is literally like your good humor ice cream, like the ice cream truck ice cream. But instead of an ice cream truck, it's a bicycle with a freezer that's battery powered, and it's weird. Jason says, and welcome, Jason says, good to see you, bud. Glad to hear you're doing well. Moved and started selling ice cream. Got any ice cream sandwiches? I do, Jason. Sell a lot of those ice cream cookie sandwiches, like the chocolate chip cookies and the ice cream in the middle, called the Chips Galore. It's good. It's good. The bike is actually right out there. I will stop talking about it because it feels like I'm being self-promotional, which is not what I intend to do. Ed Antonio Q says, how's it going? It's going well, Antonio. How about yourself? Thanks for joining in. John says, where is the captioning, or is that for when it is non-live? I don't know. I didn't know I had captioning. Crazy if so. I don't know who's been doing that, but I'm sorry that this is not captioned for you, especially if you find the captioning useful. My bad. Stephanie says, missed you. Thanks, I appreciate that. I'm glad to be back. And 13 was saying, I was hoping to see some reviews on old-fashioned confectionery like cookie, brownies, etc. Hold on. Volcano's messing with my throat. I used to do this way back. Excuse me, guys. I used to do this way back when we first started live streaming the first year of Wheats. What, 3 years ago? 2 years ago? I don't remember. Some number of years ago. The first live streams I ever did were like, hey, look at what I got from the dispensary. That was not my intention here, but I'll do that. These are some of the things that I have acquired for review in the near future. They run the gamut, so it was 13 who said he wanted to see some reviews on old-fashioned confectionaries. These are kind of confectionaries. They're chocolate-covered somethings from Moon. More gummies to review from... Oh, this is a fun one. These are the Canico gummies. Not the old Canico, but the gummy Canico, spelled slightly different. But this wasn't like a free thing. This wasn't like a promotional thing. This is something I purchased. But this bag of gummies that I purchased to review from Canna, and spoiler alert, Canna's really good. I've just never reviewed them. That this fucking bag of gummies is also an ad for HBO Max. And I don't get it at all. Look, it's HBO Max. Oh my God, everything's mirrored. HBO Max for Alex Gets Lost in Thought, a Max original. It's bullshit. I mean, it sucks, you know. It's like I paid to be advertised to. I don't even know what it's called. The Close Enough? I'm reviewing the Canico Alex Gets Lost in Thought Max Original Close Enough Cannabis-Infused Hybrid Watermelon Gummies. Okay, that's enough of that. That was a rant. Oh, chat. Jude says, congratulations on your new business venture. It's a great way to spend time outside. Thank you. And yes, it's been great to be outside so much more than I normally would. I'm starting to get tan again. I was at a time in my life almost notorious for how tan I would get. I would get insanely tanned every year. But as I've gotten older and don't go outside, you know, have withdrawn and become more Gollum-like, more Smeagol-esque, my tan hasn't come back. But now, brown. I don't know why I'm not trying to impress you with tan. It's not an impressive thing. It's just, I remembered, oh, I used to get very tan. So that's some stuff I had to review. I have other things that I'm really excited about. More tinctures, like a select 1-to-1, 500 milligrams, 500 CBD, 500 THC. Looking forward to that. I've got some cartridges, like I've got the Icon system to review. They've got their own pod-based system, which I've heard good things about. I've got my first Rick Simpson oil after all of these years to try. 600 milligrams of RSO in tincture form. Looking forward to that. So plenty of things coming up. Not a lot of old-fashioned confectionaries. 13, I think that's who made that comment. But a lot of things to look forward to, and I will be getting back on the confectionery train soon. Just not a lot of actual, not a lot of new stuff in that front, I've noticed. Most of the innovation in edibles seems to be on the, on the tincture side, which makes sense because people are going to want higher dose edibles, and the only legal way to do that right now is through tinctures. So that's why you're seeing so much innovation there, I think. I postulate. So back to chat here. Jacob says, where I come from, all the ice cream man gets all the respect. Wow. I'm glad to hear it. Here, it's everybody is very kind. Everybody is incredibly kind. I've not ever had I've never met an asshole ever. Not ever in my life, but while selling ice cream. Not even close. Really friendly people. Rick says, it looks like when you click on a reply, it comes up on the broadcast. Yes, that is correct. In this powered by Restream, which is what I'm doing right now, I'm not using the broadcasting software like OBS or XSplit at the moment because I was having some problems with it. So I just used Restream's own service, which is why that watermark is there. And the chat is weird. You actually have to manually allow every message. There does not seem to be an option just to allow all chat. But I'll get the OBS stuff worked out. Mad Crypto says, you should take cryptocurrency as a payment for your ice cream. Some futuristic ice cream bike, that would be. Well, I do take Square. Got one of those little, it's kind of, I mean, I know Square is a nefarious tech company that is harvesting all our data in addition to making 3% on every transaction, yada, 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 whatever. But it is a nifty service, I tell you what. The little Square terminal thing that I have, it's so dope. It's still just like a basically a phone, but in a wedge shape. So it's kind of like that. It's got a chip reader on it, little slide, of course, NFC for you Apple Watch folks out there. But it does not allow crypto. Mad Crypto, do you know of a simple mobile way of accepting Dogecoin for ice cream? If you do, let me know. I'm all puppy ears. Jude says, I love chocolate covered somethings. Don't we all, Jude? Those are, but I think I've had those before and never reviewed them. They're chocolate covered, like sour drops or gum, whatever you call sour balls. So it's kind of weird, but they're kind of good. But don't listen to me because I got to review it still. Jesse says HBO taking over the world. And Jesse, I'm going to go ahead and say, though, to let you know, Jesse, HBO, I do have HBO Max. I actually, I think my producer, no, not my producer. Whew. I thought my producer was going to send me some like production thing like, hey, you're being boring. Talk about something interesting, but no. Anyways, HBO taking over the world. HBO Max, I subscribed. I have HBO Max. I mean, I got upgraded for free or whatever, but it doesn't deserve all the scorn it gets. I mean, if you're not paying any more than regular HBO, it's got all of regular HBO, but the extra little bits are pretty good. I feel like I'm the only one talking about the Looney Tunes. Like, they have a shit ton of brand new fucking Looney Tunes shorts. Like, with all of your favorite old characters. Of course, not the same voice actors. R.I.P. Mel Blanc, which, if you've never heard the story of his coma, the guy who did so many of the voices of the original Looney Tunes, if you've never heard the story of Mel Blanc's coma, just Google it. It will be one of the most fantastic little stories. It'll make your day. I promise. Just Google Mel Blanc coma. I promise. It'll come up. It's got to. Anyways, Looney Tunes, HBO Max, tons of brand new Looney Tunes. They look great. The look is just perfect. And they're just as violent and chaotic and borderline disturbing as you remember. They're great. That's on HBO Max. What else? Oh, Studio Ghibli. I'm so sorry. I do not mean, I'm not trying to make fun of it. I am making fun of myself for not knowing how to say it because I'm a dumb American. I'd never seen any of them before. I'm shame on me. I knew, I'd heard forever for 2 decades. You got to check out the Miyazaki movies. They're going to change your life. The Studio Ghibli things. Ghibli, they're amazing. They're amazing. They're the best animation ever. And I was like, cartoons, reading, no thanks. But, as I got older, I was like, okay, I'll check them out. Everybody says these things are good. But they've always been impossible to stream without, paying for the whole movie. So I'd always had perfect excuse to never actually watch them because they were never available to stream on anything that I already had. However, they are now on HBO Max, and I've watched 2 of them, and they are fantastic. My wife and I watched Princess Mononoke and Kiki's Delivery Service. Very different. Holy shit, very different than one another. But both so good. So good. So those are all on HBO Max. They're like so many of them. I'm looking forward to watching so many more. Yeah, HBO Max. It's good. It's good. It sucks that they sold me an ad, but hey, joke's on them. I've already subscribed anyways. They can't get any more money from me. Joke's on you, HBO Max. So, Quibi. That 3-month trial is about to end. I signed up for Quibi when they gave me that generous 3-month trial. I have never launched the app once. Never will, probably. Anyways, that's enough all about that. We're talking about corporate consolidation in just a moment. Derek says, I read an article saying that the stimulus check money mostly went on weed and video games. Pretty funny. I would not be surprised. I heard, however, that the stimulus money for the bottom of the income ladder, the lowest level of poverty in the United States, those people in that income bracket, people making less than $20,000 a year, whatever, that as soon as their checks came into their accounts, that money went right back out. And that is not a bad thing. That's actually a very good thing. That meant that that money needed to get there because it needed to be spent on food, rent, utilities, all that shit. So that was a very good thing. And then for everybody else, who needed some discretionary spending, the $1,200 was pretty good to actually boost discretionary spending. As you said, weed and video games, luxury items. People thought, people were not spending money. They were terrified, rightly so, of the economy. I said I wasn't going to talk about the pandemic. They were terrified of the economy, so they weren't going to try to spend. But then they get this $1,200 in their account, and they think to themselves, well, now I've got a bit of a buffer. Hey, Steam summer sale, and if I buy an ounce, it's cheaper. It's cheaper in the long run. That's economics. That's shit. Modern monetary policy, which is debt. Debt don't matter if you're the United States. Just borrow, 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 borrow. Because hey, the U.S. is the world's reserve currency, and that shit ain't gonna change. Well, maybe, who knows? But the whole idea of having to balance our budget, or the idea that a state has to operate like a human being, economically speaking, it's an outdated concept. Let's not talk about economics. Let's not talk about the pandemic anymore. But let's talk about corporate consolidation. HBO Max taking over the world. It's Disney all over again. Yes, HBO Max is... What giant conglomerate actually owns HBO? I heard somebody say Time Warner. No. I heard somebody say... Did I hear somebody say AT&T? Yes, it is AT&T is now the owner. They bought out Time Warner, or whoever owned Time Warner. So then now your cell phone provider is also a content provider, which is getting scary. Those two things have never really been connected before. Those have always, well, in the modern world, as these things exist, as modern media exists, mass media exists, content providers and the pipeline, the people who make the content and then the people who run the pipe for the content to go through, have always been very separate organizations. But AT&T is working very hard to make that no longer the case. Verizon is doing the same shit. Verizon, what media plays do they have? Well, they're also more into the mobile ad stuff with their like AOL purchase, but AT&T, big one. Yes. So AT&T now not only owns the network for all the content to get zapped around on, but now they also own the shit that's getting zapped around too. And that is worrisome. You could have some interesting economic problems arise from that. One already is that Verizon and T-Mobile got pissed because AT&T decided to leverage their ownership of HBO and offered anybody who had AT&T service free HBO Max, which sounds great, and it is if you're a consumer, but it also starts to create all kinds of unfair advantages and yada, 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 and we're just all waiting for Amazon to own us all. Yes, until we're just waiting for Jeff to buy us, buy everybody. We're just biding our time. See, Disney could have been a contender, but the coronavirus has just utterly blacked their eye so deeply that Disney went from being bulletproof to being on thin ice, to mix metaphors. Boy, sorry, I went way over on time. Mr. Patel says, hey, what's up, Wheats? Been a fan for a minute. A shout out would mean a lot. I am so sorry it took so long to get to you. That was 8 minutes ago. I hope you're still out there. Glad to give you a shout out. Sorry it took so long to get to your comment. I hope you're having a good one out there, my friend. Jesse says, so you have contents to what I'm saying about Disney. Disney owns a lot about it's all over again. Yes, Disney owns so much, but thankfully Disney doesn't own the pipe yet. But Disney, Disney is the backbone of their company is their movies and their parks. And both of those things are demolished right now. They're just zeroed out. They're gone. I mean, there was some idea that they were going to open the parks, and there was some idea that they were going to come out with Mulan at the end of the month. That shit ain't happening. And it's not going to happen for a long time still. And I don't know what Disney's going to do when their reliable source of revenue, just their like money printing machines, Marvel and their parks, just that when that well totally dries up. It's gonna be an interesting fight. Amazon will just buy them. Jude says, thank goodness for Netflix, Disney, and Crave during the Rona. Movies are a great way to spend your high. Totally agree, Jude. However, my favorite thing to do in the world was to go see movies while enjoying a nice edible. Had that AMC A-list stubs, whatever the hell it's called, the 3 movies a week thing. This is far and away the longest stretch of time in my life, as far as I can remember it, that I have not seen a movie in theaters. It's a necessary sacrifice, but man, I miss it more than I would have even imagined, and I knew I was going to miss going to the movies. Brady, Alex, welcome Brady, says, thanks for, maybe there's another comment to come. Mad Crypto says, actually Square is founded by Jack Dorsey, founder of Twitter, who is super bullish on crypto. Hopefully they will add support. I knew that Square was founded by Mr. Dorsey. Mr. Dorsey is the CEO of both companies still, of Twitter and Square, which is nuts because they're both tens of billions of dollars valued companies, and he is the CEO of both, which either shows that CEOs are way more meaningless than we think that they are. That if a person who routinely goes on week and month long speaking sabbaticals and like go and do meditation retreats for weeks at a time, and also can be a CEO of 2 companies, we need to stop believing in the bullshit that that a CEO has any correlation to a company's performance, because it really doesn't. It's and it's mostly an interchangeable role. No reason to. I'm not to disparage Mr. Dorsey. Which Twitter was originally like a web radio app called Odeo or something. I don't know. But really, Twitter was originally like a web radio thing, and then they pivoted to micro messaging. It was weird. Twitter in its early days, too, was like so super fucking open. You could like send code out in fucking tweets and basically like run shit from Twitter. It was wild before they started locking it down. You guys did not need to know all that Twitter history. I didn't need to know all that Twitter history. Philip Baca says, I miss Showbox. Philip Baca, who is Showbox? I'm not sure. 13 says, LOL, you might as well give your opinion on the pandemic. It's affecting us all. Hopefully I didn't give too much of my opinion. And L Bart O says, hey, you haven't been on in a while. That is true. I'm glad to be back. Is L Bart O a Simpsons reference, by the way? Not sure. Whew. Let's do 1 or 2. Oh, I've let the volcano cool off back there. Excuse me. Let's do an unnecessary 1 or 2 of these. I really don't need it. As a matter of fact, this is kind of foolish. It's so gross. Woo. Water. Frog. It's, I think I say this in the review for the Breeze. One spray is like eating an entire Altoid, but in a second. It's like you just went, bit right into an Altoid. It's not the weed taste is that bad. It's just like any mint thing, very strong mint. It's just overpowering. Whew. You guys can't see her, but right back there, right there is a Great Dane. She's sleeping very peacefully. Oh, she's getting old. All of my dogs are getting old. Old dogs, watching your dogs get old, man, it's the worst. It really is the worst. Where are we at? El Barto says, I can say that, I guess. Ooh, cryptic. Derek says, is there such a thing as a weed smoothie? I'm certain somebody has done it. I don't see why you couldn't. It's very easy to, you could actually, so you can take decarbed weed, and if you're brave enough, you can just munch that straight decarbed weed, and it will work. It will be fine. It'll work just as if it had been baked into something. It'll be awful, and you'll hate yourself for doing it, but it is possible. Excuse me. Whew. What's that? I got that last breeze right down the pipe. Getting a little burny. Anyways, what was I talking about? Weed smoothie. Yes. You can do it. Decarbed weed, blender, berries, spinach, whatever you do in a smoothie. Who the fuck knows? Decarbed weed, you're good to go. This is not me. I don't know who would have ever done this, but I've heard somebody somewhere had a thing they called grassy pudding, which is they would just take decarbed weed, put it in a Jell-O snack cup, swirl it together, and eat it that way. That sounds revolting, and anybody who would do that should be ashamed of themselves, and I would not comport with them. But I have heard that can be done, and if it ever is, shame on that person. It does work, though. I don't know from experience. Derek says, I like the gummy worms that taste just like bud. So, Derek, you are like the infusion process in the gummy has made it taste like bud, or like somebody has created some kind of flavor profile that has a weed-like taste and made a gummy with that. If so, that's wild. I've never heard of that. Wow. Man, I've been reading a lot of books. That's been the thing I've been doing the most. I just finished Antisocial, a book about the alt-right and trolls and how infectious trolling is and how much of a lure being an alt-right goon can be. It was quite good. Andrew Marantz, I think, is the author, New Yorker guy, embedded himself with a lot of alt-right weirdos, and but talks about his experience. It's great. Antisocial. Check that one out. A book that I will recommend wholeheartedly, unreservedly, that is about the exact same topic. I read it, listened to it in a day. It's called It Came From Something Awful. It is also about the noxious effects of the internet and how the internet can corrupt certain kinds of young men, and why it has such an ability to do so, and what are the mechanisms in which it does it. It's called It Came From Something Awful. I happen to be reading it right as the forum came, Something Awful, which is an allusion to one of the earliest super influential web forums. I mean, Something Awful is like the precursor to, I mean, it's really the precursor to all kinds of things. Your 4chan's, Reddit's, it's just an old school style forum, but that like hyper ironic shit posting style kind of fomented there. And now the guy who created Something Awful got Me Too'd. And I just happened to be coincidentally listening to the book. It came from Something Awful at the same time, which is a truly wonderful book. I just devoured the thing. It is very, very introspective. It's not a data-driven look at all into these things. It's almost more of a philosophy than anything, but it's great. It came from Something Awful. Check that out. What else? Maybe I should just stop talking about books because books are boring. People who read books are nerds. People who talk about books are pretentious. And did I tell you guys about fucking Junji Ito? Junji? Again, I am so sorry. I'm butchering yet another Japanese name, and I do not mean to. Shame on me. Been reading some more of that Japanese manga, which I never read until I was in my 30s. Read the 20th Century Boys. That's the only thing I'd read before this. It was great. Really loved it. But I decided to read the most fucked up shit I've ever seen ever in my entire life. I had heard, I love horror literature, a lot. Like, grew up reading horror lit. And I got into horror graphic novels for a while, and I'd always heard about this Junji Ito fella and his small but beloved is the wrong choice of words, canon of books, mangas. Oh my God. Google if you want, guys. If you want to be fucked out of your gourd, Google these things with the name, but also NSFW. Great stuff. The books are amazing. I think to Adult Swim, Cartoon Network Adult Swim is going to make an anime out of Uzumaki, which blows my mind because it is the most depraved thing ever. It's so unbelievably. Some of those images will never be able to be scrubbed from my mind. It's also quite funny, and it's great. Check it out. But only if you are really okay with some very disturbing, what's the term? Horror. Shit. The Lovecraftian horror. You know the term when I'm talking about. Cosmic horror. Yes, only read them if you're a fan of your cosmic horror. Because they are disturbing beyond belief. Some of those images will turn your stomach. Speaking of having your stomach turned and cosmic horror, this weekend, my wife and I finally, oh my God, holy shit, we finally watched Color Out of Space, the Nick Cage Lovecraft adaptation. What? I mean, I was a Lovecraft fan. I played Arkham Horror, the board game, for years. I dig that stuff. I never thought somebody would fucking go for it as much as director Richard Stanley did. Didn't know anything about him. He's this old, like, cult director from the 70s coming back to do a Lovecraft movie, cosmic horror movie, that is It came out in the fall, has great reviews. Color Out of Space, again, is the name. I could not believe the thing that happens 80% of the way through the movie. There is an effect that puts John Carpenter's The Thing dog mass tentacle thing to shame in terms of utter grotesqueness. It's unbelievable. I don't want to spoil it, but also don't watch it. I mean, it is. I almost couldn't believe it was a theatrical release, although it was limited release. Then again, the movie Mother came out wide release back in 2017 or whatever that was. Jennifer Lawrence, and after that movie got a wide release, I realize now that anything can. Wow, Mother, what a huge piece of shit. Fuck you, Darren Aronofsky. Fuck you, Darren Aronofsky, and your garbage taste. But don't fuck director Richard Stanley and Color Out of Space. That's how you do disturbing. Well, Mother was a shitty allegory. Color Out of Space is just an intentionally befuddling creep fest. Give it a chance. So where am I at? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I am so far behind in chat. Andrew Silva with the Bobby Hill avatar. Get extra points in my book. Mr. Silva for that says, you ever tried Plug and Play? Yes, I have. I actually have it reviewed. Just give a little search there for Plug and Play. Spoiler alert, I love it a lot. It's my favorite vaporizy thingy ever, for sure. It's so good. Plug and Play. It is an order of magnitude better than any other portable vaporizer, period. It really is. It's just on a different level. And I don't understand why it's not more popular than it is. Dankmaster says, I'm smoking on that OG Kush 90% THC cart. That is nice and pure, my friend. Enjoy that. So I'm going to get back to chat, but I'm going to go ahead and hit up that volcano. Before I do, I'll bring this back again. People love to see this weed I'm enjoying. This is probably actually the nicest weed I've ever purchased for myself. I usually don't get the nicest stuff. It just feels extravagant. This time, I decided to go for a little bit of extravagance. So this is Claiborne County is the name of the grower farm, 1 ounce, and it is a whopping 36.25% THC, which is kind of ridiculous, and it definitely feels it. So let me go hit up the volcano again. For a second, guys. While that's blowing up, Prospective Consumer, what a great name. Ooh, love it. Says, what do you think about the Weed Maps app and the dispensaries as of late? Good question. I think Weed Maps is a piece of shit company and will always be a piece of shit company, and only recently took action because they were more or less forced to, not because they actually wanted to do anything good or healthy for weed consumers or prospective consumers. And what do I think of dispensaries lately? Well, I have recently really narrowed my dispensary circle down to pretty much only connected. They have a couple of different locations. They have one very close to me in Long Beach that I frequent very often. But this is the thing that I have And I would love to see some data to back this up to know if it's actually true, if it's just something I'm perceiving incorrectly. But it seems like prices, which is doubly strange because there's actually been a lot of demand for weed, a shit ton of demand for weed recently. I wonder why. But even with the increased demand, prices on things are really starting to come down. I mean, significantly. You can get, for example, I had like that 600 milligram Rick Simpson oil tincture that was like $30 for a 600 milligram edible. When we were first started on our new legality, a 100 milligram edible is going to cost you anywhere from $20 to $25 for sure. Now you can get gummies at dispensaries, 100 milligram gummies for like $12, $10 if you find the right brand, which is a substantial reduction in cost. The biggest reduction in cost is in vaporizers, is in cartridges and pods. It's kind of nuts. You can now find $20 full gram legal cartridges out there that have been lab tested, that are legitimate, 100% verifiable good stuff. And you can get those for $20. We're talking in 2 years, like almost, the cheapest 1 gram carts you could get 2 years ago were $40. And that would be, you'd have to search for them. Now you can do it for $20. Now, granted, they're not great. They're the cheapest materials there are, all that stuff, but still. So prices have really started to come down, which is a great, great thing. And I hope that is a trend that continues. I assume it won't go down. I assume we're near the floor now. Maybe not. I don't know. But it is very good to see that prices did stabilize, and that competition has started to, drive prices down. So I'm optimistic on the dispensary front. Dankmaster says, it's not the end of the world. Well, I hope not. And it depends on what you even mean by the end of the world. Like, what does that actually mean? Because to a person, there's no different. Your death is the end of the world, right? So you're going to experience the end of the world at some point. Or do you mean like the end of the planet? Like everybody dies? Or just like a Mad Max situation? That's the end of the world. But what is, or even just like America crumbles as a nation, as a democracy. Is that like the end of the world? What is the end of the world? Is it in Bruce Willis and Armageddon situation? Who knows? I don't know. Justin, your dad, welcome Justin, says, what's your favorite sandwich? Oh, Justin, it's so coincidental and fortunate timing your question there, because I have two perfect answers, but I have two, and they're very ultra specific. One is the turkey melt from Coffee Cup Cafe in Long Beach. There's this little diner called Coffee Cup close to where I live. They have the best turkey melt you've ever had in your life. It's big, thick turkey, ridiculous amounts of cheese, and bread that has been buttered to the point of hazard. And it's incredible. Turkey melt. It's just, it's very appropriate of me that the most boring sounding sandwich in the world would be my favorite because, pretty vanilla guy. But it is. So, best sandwich in the world, tied, is the turkey melt from Coffee Cup Cafe in Long Beach. Get one for yourselves. Try it today. Money back guarantee. If you get the turkey melt in Long Beach from Coffee Cup Cafe and you don't like it, send me a message and I'll get you another sandwich of your choice. Just send me the receipt. Both receipts. You have to send me the coffee cup receipt too. I know you tricksters. My other favorite sandwich, and the reason why it's a fortuitous timing is I just had my favorite sandwich tied for that doesn't really exist out here. And it's so boring because it's from a chain of shame on me. But the Firehouse subs, brisket, something, smokehouse brisket, something. Oh my God, dude. And I had one this weekend. There happened to be a Firehouse subs very close by to somewhere I had to be for some dumb reason. And there just happened to be like something on a hill, church on a hill, light on a hill, something on a hill, Firehouse subs. And I said, I'm going to have that because this used to be my favorite sandwich in the world until I had the turkey melt, which tied for it. Holy shit, I've been talking about sandwiches for so long now. Oh my God, I am sorry. Derek says, I agree with that movie. I'm not sure what movie that was. It's been a long time since that comment. I apologize, but I agree with that movie too. Derek says, Rob Zombie horror, I dig. Your House of 1,000 Corpses, your Halloween 1 and 2, your something freaks. I don't know. I've seen Halloween 1 and I've seen the second one of his movies he directed, the one that people actually like, kind of. I didn't really like it. It's more nihilistic. So that's kind of I don't like nihilistic things. I know it's a fine line. Like, what is, how is cosmic horror not nihilistic? It's certainly fatalistic. It's like, well, I don't know. It's about a tone. It's about a mentality. It's about I'm too high to describe the distinction. I found Rob Zombie to be a little nihilistic, like just angry and like revels in the violence. Whereas something like Color Out of Space is about the unknowable nature of the violence being inflicted upon people. I don't know. It's a dumb distinction, but it's what I got. But I totally cool that you like. I mean, I know there are people who love Rob Zombie's movies, which is weird to say out loud, but it just didn't do it for me. But I totally respect your respect of the Zomb. Ryan Rodriguez says, "What's good? I broke my pike, so I'm going old school Apple." Ryan, thanks for joining us, man. Sorry about your pipe. I've broken so much glass. My sink right there is actually a bong that I just broke the down stem. We talked about it. Holy shit. I sympathize with your glass breakage. And good luck with the apple. I don't think I've ever actually smoked out of an apple, but it is possible that I've done it once early in my smoking career, which is often the time people smoke out of an apple. But I don't think so. I don't know for sure. Can't remember. Mike Kemp says, nice. Well, right back at you, Mike Kemp. Thanks for joining. Derek says, that's a really high percentage. I assume he's talking about my weed, and it is. Prospective Consumer says, what do you use to find dispensaries? I just walk around my neighborhood, kind of seriously, Prospective Consumer, where I live. There are 4 dispensaries within walking distance. And I live in like a residential area. It's kind of crazy. It's wonderful. So, but I don't use weed maps anymore. I used to, even though I hated weed maps and I was being a hypocrite for doing so. I just stay local now. El Barto says, I like turkey melts. El Barto, I knew I liked you for a reason, man. Turkey melts, love them. Bryce says, there's a sandwich shop near my house that serves a $15 sandwich that is completely random every time. And it's incredible every time. It's called The Question Mark. Bryce Maynard, that is so fucking intriguing. That is really cool. I would never do that in a bajillion years. I couldn't imagine just like not ordering a sandwich and not knowing what it is. I'm a pretty picky eater, I guess, but it's such a cool idea. I love it. And as you said, it's been great every time. Man, that's such a cool idea. I know my wife and I visited Berkeley earlier, or like in December. We went to Berkeley, and there's a pizza place there, a very famous pizza place that does pretty much the same thing. It's like they make a pizza for the day, and you don't know what it is ahead of time, and that's the pizza. So she really liked it too. Miguel, welcome. Miguel says, how was your 4th of July? It was pretty sedate. Miguel, the beaches and everything were shut down here in Long Beach, so not a lot to do. I have the fancy hue lights that react to things that make colors. So I mostly just listened to the Team America soundtrack and put on red, white, and blue lights, ironically. But yeah, that was my 4th. How was yours, Miguel? I hope it was a little bit more eventful than mine. Firehouse says, it's from your city. Oh, Bryce, where is that? I feel like I've read that on their menu thing all the time. I know I've seen it next to their pickle buckets and shit, but I can't remember. What city is that? Jude says, panic buying in February or March caused big shortages of weed, so growers overplanted, anticipating a continuation of the shortage that actually caused an overabundance of weed, resulting in low weed prices. Jude, that is some really fine observation. That's the right word. Observing. That's really astute. Do you have any? I'm sure you do. You don't have to bring it up anyways, but yeah, I'd love to see some data on that to see exactly how that happened. And isn't that there's the story of economics in general is it's always too much or too little, too hot or too cold, always chasing ever greater profits. That was an elegant way of saying that's the market working, I guess, as it should. So Derek lets me know that it was Devil's Reject is that one. El Borto says, did you ever say Connected was good shop? I'm near Long Beach too. El Barto, I do like Connected a hell of a lot. I know for some reason it doesn't have a good score on Weed Maps, but Weed Maps is mostly bullshit. They're great. They have a really wonderful online, you can order online and they'll have it ready for you in the store. They've got their whole menu. But I do suggest maybe while you're there picking up your order, if that's what you want to do, browse around anyways, because they always have a lot of wonderful specials. They have like a whole wall of different promos and shit. And you can get some incredible deals that way. And it's also just a really nice shop, really well run, friendly and knowledgeable employees. I don't mind endorsing them. Holy shit, I forgot to hit these buttons to let people know that I'm not just making these people up. Hey, Jaden, do you remember you? Jaden, I'm being honest, I'm way too high. Otherwise, I'm sure I would. I have had so much Breeze Royal Mint Extra Fresh. I should do one more just for posterity, meaning for my children that I don't have, and probably ever will have. I don't know why I always say posterity. I guess I say it as a joke, but that's not actually what posterity means. 10 more milligrams of THC. I'd say I'm nearing the 300 mark now. Where are we here? Bryce is from Jacksonville. Bryce Maynor. This may be fun. Who knows? I was actually born in Jacksonville, Florida. Did not live there for very long, but I was born in Jacksonville, Florida many years ago. It's weird to think that I was born in Florida. I barely ever lived there, but I'm a Jacksonvillian. I think, I don't know, this may be apocryphal, but I'd always heard that there was a famous baby napper, somebody who abducted a baby from the nursery at the hospital that I was born at while I was there. At the time that I was born, there was this very famous baby napping case in the same hospital. I've never actually looked up to see if that's true, but I've heard that from several people before, but they're not to be trusted. And who knows, man, maybe, the world would have been a better place had that napper gotten me. Nabber, not napper, nabber. One who nabs, not one who naps. Derek says, do 2 sprays for me. Derek, I can't. That last one, yuck. Bryce says, you ever had the strain Cherry Blossom? Trying some at the moment from a shop in Portland. I don't think I've ever had Cherry Blossom. Bryce, let me know how it is. It's a beautiful name for a strain, if a little strange. But that's what weed strain names are. They're all a little strange. Bryce says that Jacksonville is rough and he preferred living in Prescott, Arizona. I don't remember anything about Jacksonville, but I know its reputation now, and I know it's quite rough. The thing that I know Jacksonville from most is a good place, and I assume most people are like Jason, except not as sort of dumb and sweet as he is from a good place, but I assume sort of similarly that they have a similar set of interests. Derek says, are those Hit Squad oils legit or black market crap? I don't know the Hit Squad oil, Derek, to tell you the truth. I would say if you're buying it from a dispensary, a licensed dispensary, and you should probably know if your dispensary is licensed. They have to have it displayed. They're very remote now, the black market dispensaries. They're not like they were a year ago. They're not everywhere. But if you're buying it from a legit dispensary, it has to be lab tested. I'm sure that some aren't sometimes. Of course, fraud happens everywhere. But if you're buying something from a dispensary, a cartridge, I think at this point, it's okay to say that you're going to be fine. Boy, wasn't that was such a quaint little worry now, such a fun little thing to look back on and remember. The old vaping is going to kill you. That was simpler times. And with vaping going to kill you, I'm going to take a break. I think you can hear my voice get a little raw. Been a while since I've done that. It has been an utter blast hanging out with you guys. I'll have a review out very soon. I think you guys can probably guess how I'm going to come down on the Breeze Royal Mint Extra Fresh 1,000 milligram per package. It's good. And with that, guys, I'm going to go cough a lot because I'm going to finish this. Then I'm going to drink some stuff to moisten my throat. And then I'm going to do something. I don't know what. But it's great. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for hanging out.